Welcome back to the 30-day Jiu-Jitsu Mobility Challenge. Today we're doing your hip flexors and your groin. Let's get straight into it. Today you'll need to be up against a wall and we're going to go back into the old faithful, the Olympic wall squat. So start with your butt as close to the wall as you can get. If you're someone that struggles to get into a deep squat, I know many of you have indicated that already in the challenge, then this one is for you. So what you want to do is start with your feet as straight as you can on the wall and have them pretty much as close to your butt as you can get them comfortably without any impingement or pain or anything like that. This shouldn't be painful, it should just be uncomfortable. Okay, and then you want to work your feet out as wide as they can go, driving your knees outwards. So you don't want collapsed knees in, you want knees driven out, feet straight, as wide as you can go and as low as you can go. And then we're going to, with our hands, push up against our inside of our knees and open up your groin. For this, big deep breaths into your diaphragm. You really want to feel the space. Try to breathe into your groin. Slow breaths out through your nose or your mouth, preferably your nose. While my mouth is flapping and as I'm explaining the exercises to you, you should have your mouth closed with breathing steady pace in through your nose and out through your mouth or your nose. Excellent. Keep driving in. And in a moment, once we get situated and used to this position, we're going to go with a contract relax. The contract relax I got from Kelly Starrett, my guru, my mentor. Definitely check him out. Check out The Ready State on YouTube for some awesome, more general mobility resources. But for your jiu-jitsu stuff, I'm your man, haha. Okay, so let's go for a contract relax cycle. So to do that, we're gonna breathe deep in through our nose, hold our breath and push, drive your elbows into your knees, drive, really open up your hip, drive, and release. Take up any slack that was made available to you by walking your feet out and down. See if you can get into a deeper squat. Now make sure that your lumbar is flat on the floor. It's not lifting up or any shenanigans going on there, but keep driving. You can also do this up against your couch, I suppose, but it's definitely easier up against a wall. And if you're using a yoga mat, that's just easier again. So we're gonna go with one more contract, relax cycle here. Deep breath in through your nose and we're gonna hold and push. With me, in and hold, push. Really drive your elbows into your knees. Hold. And relax and breathe out for 8. So the contract relax, if you want to do them yourself, it's a breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds. You hold for about 4 seconds, driving in, contracting the position, and then breathe out for 8 seconds. You can pretty much do a contract relax cycle in just about every mobility exercise, particularly static holds or active static holds, if you will, a bit of an oxymoron there. Yeah, so definitely drop them in whenever you need. All right, and release and come out of that position. Woo! All right, your groin should definitely be prepped and open and ready to go. So we're gonna not waste any time and go straight into the next one. It is everyone's favorite, the couch stretch. The couch stretch is up against a wall or a couch, hence the name. As a reminder, this is level 1. If we're down on both knees, you need to keep your glutes engaged. I know in some of the other follow-alongs, some people have mentioned that they have a hard time keeping their glutes engaged with the couch. That just means you need to stay down a level before you can progress. I'd prefer you to be up on your instep. I'm up on my toe here because I actually have a sprained ankle at the moment. I'm filming this, but I'm managing. So I'm not gonna come up on my instep today, but I encourage you to come up on your instep like you can see here. Okay, so now I'm gonna progress straight up to the next level, level 2. It's your leg up and just your hand resting on your knee here, other hand on the floor, on the mat, and keep your glute engaged. I like to do the glute check just by making a fist and punching my butt, keeping it nice and engaged. You can drop in a contract relax here if you wish. But for now, I'm just gonna hang out here and come up all the way up top to the next level. Keeping my glute engaged, give myself a tap. Every time I progress through to the next level, I make sure I recommit to that glute squeeze. It's really, really important. You don't actually get much of the benefit if you don't engage a glute. That's because you're not really engaging with your hip flexor at the front. The antagonist muscle needs to be engaged. Your glutes need to be engaged. So nice and tall here. Don't banana back. Don't extend your back. Keep your rib cage nice, tucked in down. A slight engagement in your core should help with that. So you're engaging your glute and you're engaging your core. Everything's engaged. Okay. And just hang out here with me. We will be in this position for approximately 2 minutes and then we're going to swap sides. And we've already been here for about a minute and a bit. So nearly there. Just a reminder to breathe into your hip flexor here. It really helps with that breath volume. I'm not really breathing how I would normally do this because I'm having to save my breath to explain, but you should be breathing deep into your hip flexor here, in through your nose and out through your mouth or your nose. I say that a lot, but it definitely helps as a reminder. If you want, you can come all the way up and put your hands up, but for today, I'm just gonna hang out in level 3. All right. Let's come out of that position and we're gonna swap over to the left side. Now I'm again not gonna come up on my instep just to keep things even because I don't wanna have one wonky side. Not really, but I'm just gonna stay up on my toe here for the slightly easier version and I'm gonna engage my glute and make sure that I start to feel that in the hip flexor. I'm already feeling it in level 1 today on my left side. I did some pretty heavy conventional deadlifts yesterday. So I'm definitely in need of some hip flexor TLC. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna come up onto level 2. If you wanna go straight to level 3, you can, but I recommend, particularly if you haven't done cat stretching in a little bit, to progress through the levels just to make sure everything's working just fine. And you can still recommit to your engaged glute. This is probably my #1 stretch for jiu-jitsu. Whenever I'm on podcasts or whenever I'm being interviewed or just making content, I'm asked about what's the #1 stretch? What's the #1 mobility move for jiu-jitsu? I always say the couch stretch, just because I think that it's so universally beneficial for so many people, regardless of whether you're a guard player or passer or what you do for a living. It's very beneficial. And I find most people spend a lot of time seated and they end up getting really tight hip flexors. Okay, so I'm up onto level 3, all the way up. Recommit to that glute engage. Recommit to your breath volume. Make sure you put something underneath your knee here. You don't want to be doing this on any hardwood floors or even like gym mat floors. They're not as in jiu-jitsu gym, like a conventional commercial weights gym. Those, I mean, they're mats, but they're still pretty hard. Try to have a foam pad or a towel, a pillow, cushion, something underneath your knee. Particularly if you do these regularly, you can actually inflame your patella if you just do it on hardwood floors. So up in level 3 here, recommitting to that glute squeeze, keeping that tap going, making sure my glutes are engaged. If you can't maintain your glute squeeze in this position, in this upright position, regress back to one of the levels that you can commit and maintain that glute engage. All right, so we're nearly there. Okay, let's come out of that. All right, so now what we're gonna do is the Cobblers Pose to finish off our groin stretch. So I want you to come up onto the nice edge, the blade of your foot here, up against the wall, and then use the wall to slide on in to your Cobblers Pose. See how I go with a sprained ankle? It's not feeling too bad. Okay, pretty good. Nice and tall, up against the wall here, and you should feel this in your groin. If you're more advanced with this position or you have a pretty decent range of motion in your groin like I think I do, then I would benefit from having some kettlebells or weights placed on my knees here. But to simulate that ourselves, we can just lightly push down until you start to feel a deeper stretch. You can also work your feet in closer to your butt and be nice and tall here and engage. We can also do a contract relax in this position. So you know what, let's drop in a contract relax. So I'm going to breathe deep in through my nose, hold for 4, contract for 4, and then release for 8. So let's do a contract relax now. So, and hold and push, 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 push into your groin, contract your groin, push back, and release. Take up any slack that was available to you. Maybe you can bring your feet in a little bit closer. Maybe you can get some more range. If your legs are up like this and your feet are out, that's okay. This is what we're working toward. That is why you're showing up today for this mobility challenge, because you want to improve how you move for jiu-jitsu. And that is exactly what you're doing. All right. So we'll be in this position for just over a minute, maybe 2. My sense of time is a little bit off in these things. Sometimes it's a little bit longer on the right, a little bit less on the left, or vice versa. So if ever that happens, just feel free to balance it out yourself. But I try to stay as consistent as possible. All right. And we can release there. Okay. Today was focused around groin and hip flexors. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and stay tuned for tomorrow's session in the 30-day Jiu-Jitsu Mobility Challenge.